Tomorrow's a breakthrough day. My husband and I are going to celebrate 50 years of marriage. And we've been together before that too, because we met as high school sweethearts. And so our marriage, let's just see it. We met when I was 15. He was 15 before we even started driving. He was the high school quarterback, and I played in the band, the clarinet. And we discovered each other at ninth grade. I didn't even know who he was or follow sports or anything before that. So I was a little boy crazy, and boy, oh days did I set my sights on him, and I think he found me too pretty quickly. But like any high school thing, you're on and off, you're up and down, you're looking left and right. There's a lot of fish in the sea. There's a lot of fish for me. At least I had that issue. And so off to college I went, and off in a different direction. He went to trade school. We went in different directions, and we tried on a lot of different things and checked out a lot of different people and found our way back to each other. Somewhere in my college journey, I realized that there's no place like home. There's no place like that person who knows you in a way that just feels right and comfortable. And that was my husband to be at the time. So in my senior year of college, during winter break, right after the Christmas holidays, we did it. We had a short, very small ceremony because at the time I was feeling a little bit of a hippy-dippy phase of my life. I wasn't really sure about the future. We didn't want to spend a lot of money because we didn't have any money. And I certainly didn't want my parents to go overboard because they were also picking up the tab for my college education, which was a pretty big ticket item. We got married, and we lived in a little A-frame cottage. Just had to get to our mattress on the floor with a ladder. So we'd climb the ladder to the mattress on the floor. The bathroom was so small, you had to work your way around in there to get your shower. Kitchen table was a fold-down table that we would study at. Then after we were done with dinner and done with studying, we'd fold up the table. That was the beginning. And we were in a little grumble with each other. There was no place to go. Only one TV downstairs, and you could see it from the loft. So the one that would stomp off, you had to either go to the bathroom and sit in there, or you had to go up to the mattress and maybe look over the loft and see if you could catch a little whatever was on TV. So our arguments, we didn't have any place to go to get away from each other, and found that it's one of the secrets. We found that when we were arguing, if there was those moments where we had a lot to work out, we're just kids, we had a lot to work out. I guess through our whole marriage, there's a lot to work out as you reach at different stages. But here we are, 50 years later. So I have a handful of things that have kept us strong throughout the years, especially when we've been tested. One of them is communication. We both like to talk. We like to talk and listen to each other. We don't always talk about feelings. Our subjects range all over the place. We have an open line of communication, and I truly admire the things that he thinks about. He has an excellent memory. My memory is not as strong. I have a little more touchy-feely way of looking at things, and he's got facts and figures. So when we sort through our issues or our problems, this is what helps us, is that it's not just cookie-cutter ideas, it's what he brings to the table and what I bring to the table. That's really important. There's been times when I have done something that I really need to just mea culpa. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you've got to be able to do that. You've got to be able to say, I overstepped, I said too much, I shouldn't have done that, I really done something that's not right. And then there's the secrets. Secrets will destroy you. The idea that you're doing something that you think they just can't tell them, you can't come clean about. Secrets will destroy your marriage. It will destroy you. So when you do something that you're not proud of, that you don't feel good about, or that has happened to you, maybe you feel a little ashamed or a little you don't feel good about, catch your breath, find the right time, share that and work through that. So secrets, no. Talk, communication. And look at this person every day and say, all right, every day I can't be on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm not a 10 every day. I am not a 10. He's not a 10. And the days that we can both be a 10 at the same time ain't going to happen. Not very often. And so there's going to be times when I'm up and he's not. I got to pull him up. Times when maybe I just need a little boost, or I need a little encouragement, or somebody to say, hey, babe, you're looking good. Give me that little self-confidence or that little boost. That's what it's about, is Find those times that you can give them a little lift, give your partner a lift, realize that they're having struggles and that they don't want to always be the woe is me or whatever else, but look deep and see something that you can do for them. Bring them a cup of coffee, bring them a snack, give them a kiss, whatever it's going to take. Lift each other up and be grateful for those times you can do for each other. Be grateful. Find some common interests, but also in our case, one of our secrets was that we both would go out, and my job, his job. I had my own business and he had a pretty interesting career as well. When we came home at night, we had something that we brought to the party. I always called it is he did something, I did something, and we had something to talk about. So the idea that all this togetherness, everything has to be done together, that wasn't really something that was the key to our success. It was the differences we had, what we both bring to the party, how we can expand and grow through what each one is going through. That was a big deal. The admiration for each other, truly finding something in the other person that you admire. And you feel that when you walk in the room, you look around and you see other people in that room and you can spot your spouse and that's the one for me. Cultivate that feeling, cultivate that, and cherish that feeling. Let them know how important they are to you. But others around you, we had really made a point that in front of other people, we don't argue. If we have something to say or we have a little issue or something just doesn't click right at the moment, we're not rolling that out for the public. We keep that pretty private because we know we're going to work through it. We're going to work through it. And it's not necessary that everybody remembers that moment that Sam and Sandy had a little ta-ta-ta-ta. No, that's our private intimacy. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but that's been a big part of our life. And whatever level you find that with your spouse, cherish that because that's something that you don't have with anybody else. And so that's an important part of our relationship too. And at our age, well, it's also important in our relationships to take good care of ourselves so they can stay attractive. There's something attractive. I might not be that 15-year-old high school girl or that college or that 20-something. I might not have all of that. But one thing that I've tried to do over the years, and I know my husband has too, is to do what I can with what I've got to work with at the point in life that I'm at. And so here I am. I'm not going to say how old I am, but you can start doing the math. Anyway, do the best you can. Take care of yourself. I don't have to be a beauty queen. I don't have to have fancy clothing and all the brand names. I'm not talking about in that way. I'm talking about your general health. Making sure that you value yourself, your physical well-being, your health, your spiritual health. Although those are the highlights of ours, but I too share with you that there have been times in our life that have really had to get through some pretty hard stuff. And maybe now isn't the time to go through it. I'll roll that out at a future date. But I can tell you a funny story from when we first got married. Oh gosh, I was learning how to cook because I wasn't much of a cook. That just wasn't my thing, and it still isn't my thing. In fact, he's the one that took that over. But I remember the day when I were first married and we're living in this little A-frame. It was a tiny house, and before tiny houses were popular, I was going to make leg of lamb. I'd never made leg of lamb before, but I followed that recipe and I was so proud of it. We put it on the table, our little table that was fold down and folded up when it was done because it was a space saver table. And as hard as he tried, and he knew that I had put my heart into it, as hard as he tried, it was no good. And I remember trying to choke down a couple of bites. He's trying to choke down a couple of bites. And finally we just looked at each other and said, this has got to go. And he opened the door and took that pot and he threw that leg of lamb out in the snow. And there it sat for days, and not even any wildlife or animals, nothing, because we lived in the woods, nothing ate that leg of lamb until finally we did pick that up and got rid of it the right way, but nothing else wanted it either. Every now and then he'll roll that story out for me. That was the silly stuff. And the other silly things, there was the wet towels. One would take a shower and the wet towel is thrown on which we slept on a mattress. And next thing there's a wet towel on the mattress. Well, the little things that living together can be like, and I remember us getting just trying to adjust the lifestyle. Who does the dishes and who's taking out the trash and what our jobs and responsibilities were and who's doing more than the other one and what about laundry law, all that stuff. And you know what? It doesn't matter because we found a way that we're both going to pitch in. If I need a little help, right there he is. He's helping with the dishes. If I need some help with feeding the horses, he's out there feeding the horses and the goats and the chickens, and we share all of that. So there it is. That's a secret to a good marriage. At least that's one of the secret or a couple of the secrets to our good marriage. Tomorrow's 50 years. 50 years. In the comments, if you have anything a story to tell, I would love to hear your stories and love to hear more about how you're making it work. And for all of you out there that are on the journey, love your spouse, love them, respect them, find ways that you can appreciate them, and let the people around you, let them know how much you love your spouse, because they will reflect off of that. The more that you show your respect for your spouse, the more other people will respect you and your spouse as well. So that's my advice. Tomorrow's a big day. Bye now.